You know what scares me the most? It's not the deals that fall apart. It's the deals that closed. Then bury the buyer 6 feet under in debt, stress, and massive regret. And most of those failures, they come down to 5 rookie mistakes. Let's make sure you don't make them. Hi, I'm John Stoddard from DealFlowSystem.net. I've helped buyers close over $33 million in deals and raise $50 million in funding. If you're working full-time and want to buy a business without wasting years on junk deals, you should subscribe and watch this video. All right, mistake number 1, ignoring due diligence. Too many first-time buyers fall in love with the story and skip the homework. They only glance at the P&L and ignore the balance sheet, cash flow, leases, lawsuits, suppliers. I had a student once, a smart guy, who nearly bought a company that looked profitable. But when we dug deeper, we found the owner had stacked short-term debt on credit cards just to make payroll. On paper, it showed profit. In reality, a disaster. Here's the rule of thumb here. Profit is a theory. Cash is a fact. Here's the thing. Due diligence isn't just about the numbers. It's also about people, contracts, hidden landmines. Is there customer concentration? A lawsuit pending? A lease that doubles in 18 months? Now, would you buy a business if you knew all of this up front and payroll depended on a visa? Think about that for a second. Warren Buffett said it best. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Due diligence is how you know what you're doing. All right, mistake number 2, overpaying from emotion. Most first-time buyers get caught up in this dream. They imagine freedom, the cash flow, the new identity as the business owner. They want to be able to brag about it at parties. They're creating sandcastles in their mind. And they start justifying crazy valuations. Charlie Munger had this rule. Don't buy something you don't understand. I would add, don't pay more than cash flow justify. So the question is, what's the real cash flow of the business? Because that's what we're buying at a reasonable price. And the price you can pay for a business depends on how much debt it can support. And the amount of debt it can support, it's based on how much cash it actually generates to cover that debt. And banks don't give a damn about your vision. They look backwards, not forwards, and they want to see historical performance on whether debt service is possible based on the past. This is the numbers underwriters stare at, not your hockey stick projection. One of my students, Scott, almost bought a catering business just because it was his passion. He had been in the food and beverage business for years. Instead, we walked through the numbers. It had low margins, high seasonality, and no real upside. He would have to work overtime just to make more money. So he pivoted. He bought a boring one-product company with huge growth potential. And that deal changed his life. So passion doesn't pay for debt service. Cash flow does. All right, mistake number 3, underestimating post-acquisition challenges. After you close, closing isn't the finish line. It's actually the starting gun. The moment you wire funds and sign docs, reality hits, and it's going to punch you in the face. Employees don't trust you yet. You've done nothing to earn their trust. Customers may hesitate, processes break, and oh yeah, that SBA loan payment, that starts immediately. Ray Dalio calls this the pain period. In acquisitions, we call it the J curve. One of my students has a war story. He once bought a company that looked smooth on paper, but the moment he walked in, 3 employees quit. Suddenly, he was the CEO and the janitor working 80-hour works just to stabilize. This is the part most buyers miss. This integration and taking over somebody's culture, it's messy. Cultures clash. Systems need fixing. So if you don't have a plan for that chaos, it will eat you alive. Tony Robbins says, it's not the lack of resources, it's your lack of resourcefulness that stops you. So budget for surprises, expect the unexpected, and build a 90, 100-day integration plan like the PE firms do. And walk in ready for turbulence. Mistake number 4, lack of industry knowledge. Way too many buyers chase shiny objects. Hey, I'll buy this gym, or I'll buy this SaaS, or maybe I'll buy this trucking or HVAC company. That is not a strategy. That's a roulette wheel with bad odds. Adam Coffey, who's done billions in private equity, says, you need to know the battlefield before you step onto it. You should know the margins, the regulations, the competitors, customer behavior, how to acquire a customer. It all matters. One buyer I work with wanted to grab a manufacturing business. The numbers looked fantastic, really high profit margins. But he didn't know the industry was about to get hammered by a new EPA regulation. That great deal could have turned into $1 million compliance nightmare overnight. So, knowledge is leverage. ChatGPT will help you out if it's coming down the road. If you know the risk, you can structure the deal better. If you don't, you're in Las Vegas. You're gambling. Would you buy a business if you didn't know what the rule book was? You wouldn't know how to win. Mistake number 5, poor financing and capital structure. Here's a silent killer. Too many first-time buyers drain their savings, max out their 401k, and put everything on the line. They go all chips, like back in Vegas. You don't need to do that today. Smart buyers stack financing. They use SBA loans, seller carry, and some outside investor equity. The business itself should carry the weight. I helped structure a deal once where the seller carried 40%. That gave my student breathing room for working capital, and it kept the seller invested in his business. Here's the rule. Never walk into a business undercapitalized. You will need reserves for payroll, inventory, and those oh crap moments. Again, we call that the J curve. Brian Tracy said, poor people spend their money and save what's left. Rich people save their money and spend what's left. In acquisitions, structure your deals so you always keep cash in reserve. All right, let's wrap up. So, the 5 big mistakes to dodge. Skipping due diligence. Never skip due diligence. Overpaying from emotions. Don't build sandcastles in the sky. And underestimating post-close chaos. Have a 90, 100-day plan like PE firms. And buying without industry knowledge. Don't do it. SBA is not going to allow it anyway. And bad financing structure. Look, work on structure, getting the money together. Big companies avoid these by design. If you're an SMB buyer, if you're a first-time buyer, you need to build the same habits. And here's the part people miss. You don't have to be perfect at this because you're going to make mistakes anyway. You just need to avoid the big rookie mistakes that kill you. All right? All right, if you found this video useful, smash that subscribe button. And if you're serious about buying your first business, head over to my site, dealflowsystem.net. I can help. That's where I show you how to find, fund, and close your first deal the smart way. I'm John Stoddard. I will see you on the next one.